G'day everyone and welcome back to the Glass Cage podcast. I'm JH.
And I'm George.
And this is episode 8 now. We are flying through it.
Yeah, we're getting through them.
Yeah, no, we're getting there. So this episode we're going to talk about PA, but we're also going to have a bit of a chat beforehand, I reckon. PA is a very in-depth subject.
Yeah, and as always, we should probably make sure that we explain all of our acronyms and stuff and PA.
No. Precision agriculture.
Yeah, so precision ag. That's it.
So, yes, we'll get into that. But first, we do have a question.
Yeah, I got a question. No, I think first we should address the elephant in the room.
Oh, you mean the hat's in the room?
Yeah, the hat's in the room. The fact that I'm wearing a hat.
So this is only for people on YouTube that can see this, but we are wearing the Tom's Brook Farm hat, the very coveted hat.
Yeah, that's it. What's the go here?
Well, I've got a YouTube and people want to have some hats.
Oh, that's good. So how do they get them?
Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, you got to work that out. Oh,
No, I haven't told the YouTube this yet, but I'm going to have a competition. No, it's basically going to be competitions.
You're saying this is a podcast exclusive?
Podcast exclusive.
Right.
So it's going to be, I reckon we'll do Movember for the farm.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be like the top donations. I reckon we'll get a hat.
Nice.
Just a bit of encouragement there.
Awesome.
But,
Are you going to sign the hat? Put
no.
a personalised message in there?
No. Right. So question. We had a question.
We did have a question. This one comes in from Josh, and he said, hey, boys, was just listening to your employment podcast, and you were talking about qualifications. Do you, as employers, look more towards experience instead of TAFE qualifications or uni qualifications? Because I've done most of my TAFE course, then left because found it much more relevant to be at work and getting hands-on experience than sitting in the classroom, much like you, JH. So, yeah, would be unreal to hear your feedback. Thanks.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I was the exact same as everyone now knows. I dropped out of uni to basically learn from Dad because I was going to learn more from Dad than I would at uni, and I did. But, yeah, when I look for people, we actually go for people who don't have experience.
Yep. You'd rather teach a little bit more?
Yeah, look, it's better to have a bit of farming background, and definitely during the COVID times I was looking for people who had experience.
Yeah.
But normally, and all that Dad did was just get unqualified people and you train them up.
Yeah.
You give them your bad skills,
All the bad habits.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it definitely helps when you got someone who comes in who knows how to drive a John Deere or knows John Deere auto steer.
Yeah.
And it's just the gears bigger.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. So experience pays for a little bit, but as far as education goes, it really depends on the role that person's going to be fulfilling within the business.
Yep.
So if you're looking for someone to be a much larger business that might have a key man or key person for a spray role, then possibly having some formal education behind it would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Not necessary, but yeah, it can help in just getting you across the line there.
Yeah, things like so it used to be ChemCert. It's now, I believe, called OzChem.
Yep.
Now that's done at TAFE. So, if you had an OzChem certificate and you were applying for a boom spray job, but you haven't really driven a boom spray before, that'll help.
Yes.
But in terms of experience will always trump education.
Yeah.
In our industry.
Yeah.
Unless you're going for an agronomist or something like that. Like that's not, for farming. That's the suppliers or whatever you want to call it.
The broader industry.
Yeah.
I'd say that the gold standard would be to have both. Have a bit of both.
Yeah, which sounds like he's got.
Yeah, which is good. It's a good start.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have any trouble finding employment, I'd imagine.
Yeah, no, so very good.
So yeah, a little bit different. How's your week?
Oh, it's just been a little bit rainy and cold today.
Yep.
It's classic September sort of stuff.
Yeah, yep. We both received a bit of slow release rain.
Yeah. I think we might have picked up a little bit more slow release.
Yeah, you had a lot more white on the ground, where ours sort of dissolved pretty quick. So.
Yeah. So that was Yeah, I mean, short and sharp. Hopefully, not too much damage. Reckon that the rain's going to do a lot more benefit than the hail has done. Detriment.
Yeah. We're pretty lucky at this stage, so that's all right. How's the seeding going? You guys have, you've finally got your sprinter. Well, not the sprinter, but
Yeah, so the little speed tiller.
Yep.
With the seed unit on top. It's been good. So, I mean, we are like south of the highway is very wet, and nearly every single neighbour down there is doing something very similar.
Oh yeah.
All seeding, trying to do a recovery crop.
Yep.
But yeah, we've gotten through it mostly. Pulled up now. The machine has been bogged.
I heard he might be bogged right now.
Yeah, he just walked back to the gravel pad. Very well done there, Rigby. That's maximum effort getting bogged on the way back.
Yeah, at night
back.
time when it's drizzling.
Yeah, so no, we're getting through it. It's good. It's coming up nicely. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it actually comes up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, and yourself?
You were there, but we had the busy bee this week at the Cascade Recreation Centre area.
Yeah.
What do we call
The
it?
hall.
Community hall.
Yep.
So that was good. And then, we did our first aid course. We are now first aid certified. So if you fall over, get a snake bite, need a heart attack, mate, I'm your man.
Awesome. Do I have to have all three at once or?
Yeah. I'm trained in bee stings to heart attacks, so you're good.
Awesome, because I got a bee sting yesterday.
I don't know what to do. And then today, we're trying to get fungicide spray out. We got powdery mildew, not anywhere near the level that you guys close to the coast have.
Yeah.
We just want to get on top of it early, and because we've got the heads out, get the head wash.
Yeah.
But we just can't. It's too windy. So Henry's just trying when he can.
Yeah.
Then once he's finished that, it's into the barley. So get the spot type that's coming up in that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so a bit of disease pressure pushing further north.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those years where you sort of don't want to do it, but you got to do it to protect what you got.
Yeah.
So anyway, shall we dive into a little bit of PA?
Yeah. Let's dive into a little. I reckon we should probably just dip our toes, because if we dive, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, no, that's it. We'll. I think we'll probably brush across a lot of things, and I'm assuming you guys are all going to have questions for everything we brush on.
Yeah.
But like George said, I reckon we'll be here all night if we get in depth. But we will definitely come back and cover this topic again. Probably with the right people.
Yeah.
And definitely get into a certain subject on it and just nail it.
Yeah, because I think that pretty much everything we're going to go over tonight could be an episode in and of itself.
Yeah, 100%. So I guess the very start of PA for most of us, precision agriculture, again for anybody, is yield mapping.
Yeah, if you exclude, if we exclude auto steer, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we're going to be here all night.
But if we just say, okay, so you've got auto steering, so then precision ag really starts after that.
It's sort of the first thing. Again, you've got your soil sampling, so then of course you're doing that. But
yeah. So yield mapping is generally the first thing that happens. Is the header comes out, it's got auto steer, and they go, and you can also record what's being put through the mass flow. So. Yeah, I think we all started collecting yield data before we knew what we were really going to do with it.
It's only just recently that us, Tom's Brook, have actually done something with it. Yeah, so I think 2007 is when we started doing yield mapping.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of yield maps.
Yes.
And it's only in recent years, let's say... when did we get the ball go? So 6 years ago, we started doing vary rate ag flow.
Yes,
I'm losing my words.
Yep.
We had all this yield data, and I'm like, back when we got the Seed Hawk, Dad wanted to do vary rate.
Yep.
And the Seed Hawk, it was sold to us that it could do vary rate. This isn't on Seed Hawk. This is on the people who sold it to us.
Yeah.
It didn't do it. We just won't go into that. So it was just a fixed rate machine.
Yeah.
Dad was very, very annoyed with that.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we went to the Borgo, it was 100% we want to go very rate.
Yep.
And to do that, we ended up staying, and we've discussed this before, but we stayed with the Borgo system. So that's the TopCon X35 screen.
Yep.
Because we've had it go through John Deere and it didn't work.
Yep.
You guys are going through John Deere and it works for you. So, yeah, it works. But,
Yeah. There's, as with everything PA, there's trade-offs.
there is, yeah.
So, yeah, going the way that we did, we traded out of the ability to do some of the cool things that you guys can, like remote calibration.
Yeah,
And,
yep.
But it's, the yield maps into like phosphate maps or into urea maps, if you were to take it out that,
Yeah.
I think really you need to have about 3 years worth of good solid data collected.
Yeah, and your farm. So we had all this yield data. We're going through it all with the agronomist, and we're trying to nail down, to the paddock. Is this representative of the paddock? Oh, yeah, no. And you're trying to merge, say, all your wheat every time you're done wheat, and it just doesn't look right.
Yep.
So for us, it's actually 2015 is the year that I've been going off.
Yep.
It's the most representative for our paddocks, and and that coincides with the soil sampling.
Yep.
With the yield maps. So
so ground truthing what you see on those maps.
100. But you've got to do it, don't you?
Yeah. So that's we've got obviously from when we were all farming together. We've still got those shared data sets. I've had multiple types of New Holland data.
Different colours. Yep.
John Deere data, merge them all together, and sometimes at the same time, in the same harvest, which is a little bit interesting. We've been very rate for about the same time.
Yep.
So since we got the Borgo, very rate on the cedar.
Yeah.
Before that, we had the capability, and we did some stuff, but it was, a lot of the time didn't quite get those representative years.
Yeah.
We did spend a fair bit of time getting that bulk data together of good representative stuff, and then can build off that.
Yeah. No, it's crucial to find your years, because obviously if you're going to go off the last 3 and then combine it, in that last 3 you could have had a frost, a drought, and your best year ever.
Yes.
So you're going to get horrible VR map.
Yeah, and when you take into account things like the barley and canola yield flip-flop.
Yes,
so sometimes your best barley ground isn't your best canola ground, and all those other variations. You can sort of get some trends in there, but it's, again, like you said, knowing your paddocks, knowing your seasons. So all the yield data can look great and can give a lot of information, but it's only as good as the person interpreting it and then applying that.
Yeah, and then I think the not scary thing, but the hard thing is sometimes applying it.
Yeah.
We've got the TopCon screen. If anyone knows TopCon, it's very, very, very hard to.
It is the TopCon.
It's very hard to get anything on if you don't have your file system right.
Yeah,
you've got to have. Everything's got to be the same capital letters, same spacing, same everything.
Yeah.
Just getting the I started with boundaries on there. So I got boundaries on there, and that was exporting the XLS files or KMH files, whatever they are, shape files or whatever it is. Can't remember now because it was so long ago when I did it. If I had to do it now, I wouldn't be able to. So I got that on the screen, and then it was like, okay, we're going to vary rate now. So we got a vary rate map from the agronomist, went to plug it in. It wouldn't work, just couldn't get it to work. Yep. And then it turned out that the way I figured it out was just copying the boundaries back off onto a USB and then putting it in that way.
Yeah.
And that worked. So that's, in hindsight, very simple, but that took me about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, one of those barriers to entry for a lot of people is not...
Oh, it's daunting.
Yeah, not wanting to spend the time to mess around and just you get the, stuff it, just we're just setting it at 80 kilos and we're going.
Yeah.
We're going seeding.
Yep.
Which a lot of the time is the right decision, is to just go and get it in there because you've got to get the timing right.
Yeah.
But it's always nice when things work, when you do actually get it all flowing and happening.
Yeah.
And see that end result is always good. But
Yeah. So we both use PCT, AG.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously an acronym. No idea what that stands for, but that's the company, PCT.
Yeah, I've got no idea. Precision something.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but
Now that is a very, very amazing bit of software.
yeah, powerful, very powerful.
But my God, is it hard to use.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm not the most computer literate person. You are. You're very computer literate. You're very good on computers. And
Oh man, I'm like a monkey smashing two coconuts together when it comes to PCT.
it is not bagging them out. It's a fantastic tool for us.
Yeah.
But that is daunting. That scares me using that. It's very easy just if you grab your yield map and you sort of know what you're doing on the yield side of things.
Yeah.
But they've got, as an example, if you bring your soil sampling results
Yep.
into PCT, it can then, so you merge that with a yield map, multiple yield maps.
Yes.
It then can go, okay, so as we all do, we don't grid sample. So in a paddock, what have you got? At best, maybe 8 sample sites. And
At max. That's
so, and historically, it's probably lower, 3 or 4, maybe 5. Now, PCT can take that yield data and then go, okay, so over here where you've got this soil sampling result, your pH, let's just say it's 5.
yeah.
Now, your yield's the same over here. That's going to be about the same soil type, so that's 5 over here as well.
Yeah.
And it then grids the paddock for you.
Yeah.
And we use that for a lime application.
Yes.
It was amazing. We got so many different, changes in our rates, and the paddock just looked amazing. And it worked, but that was going through the agronomist, and he struggled as well. It was
A lot of work.
a lot of work,
Yeah.
but there is so much potential there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's been I've often spoken about it with other people who use PCT all the time, and I don't use it so much now. I did a couple of years ago.
Yep.
I felt that they really need to just get a really good graphical user interface that's easy to just go, that's what I want to do, that's where I want it to go.
Yeah.
So then it's
on an easy undo function.
and an easy undo function. So like I've used most Photoshops all the way through from like the mid 2000s. So I'm familiar with how to make things work.
Yeah.
And like I want to draw this, I want to do that. Yep. Get in there and I get lost and I lose where I was meant to be before.
Yeah.
And
Great software, but
that's the thing. Like it's a piece of software is only as good as the people that can use it, and it can have all the features and all the functions and power, but it just really it's one of those things that you either need to be using it all the time, or you need to just have an absolute bank vault of a brain to remember every little bit and how to get in there and get it
because
happening.
we haven't even touched the surface of what PCT can do. It's
yeah.
I mean, we're not sponsored by them, obviously, but it's just
Always open to it.
after we just bagged them out.
It's a fair and honest review.
But yeah, it's that it can do a lot of things. But if now if you're out in your glass cage and maybe you're not wanting to go farming completely, you want to have a little side hustle, and you're very good at computers.
I'll get into that.
Get into being a rep for them, or you just take farmers' data and, hey George, I want to do variate over my 4,500 hectares. You
Yeah.
go, yep, no worries. $2.50 a hectare, and I can get you a yield map for let's just say seeding. It's $3.50 for lime, $2.50 again for gypsum or something, and
Away
you've
you
just
go.
made yourself a very tidy little
For just applying your knowledge and a couple of subscriptions per year.
Yeah. Yep.
Which no, it's Yeah, it's an interesting space. It's one that I have had a bit of an interest in, and Jack, being a PA specialist for John Deere for a little while, obviously had a bit of interest in it. But you've really got to be focused to keep up.
And just like with John Deere yield mapping is very rate mapping is very easy.
Oh yeah.
It's just pluck it off. You just go into whatever that other software is online, and you just pluck it from the yield map. It just puts it into a thing, and then you just send it to the tractor wirelessly, and you're done. But it's not as accurate as what you could get.
Yeah, so that's where I use that, the Agrian prescription creator.
Yep.
But that's basically just looking at like old hard copy versions of EM38 and Gamma radiometric maps.
Yep.
So that's where you've got the sled, drag the sled around.
Yeah,
You've got the Gamma out the front and the EM out the back. I think I should remember. I used to drive one.
For one summer.
It was enough of a summer. I think Dave Capehorn, he's driven them for...
He's done millions of hectares.
He's all over it. He's probably listening, if he is listening, going, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." But no.
Well, what is Gamma and EM38?
Oh,
in representative to what would you do with it?
Yeah, basically giving you your potash and your gypsum requirement. Yep. I think roughly we'll give you. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
It's been that long. Too many of those things. But yeah, basically it'll give you a map very similar to a yield map that shows you, depth to clays and different, soil types and structures.
Yeah, okay.
Underneath there.
Yeah, yep.
Fact check it. Fact check me.
Oh, you can't just have the acronyms. If you're going to pull out, the old Gamma, and people are going to think you're turning the Hulk, mate.
Yeah. I did think that, and then still this lily white skinny kid at the end of it. But no, it's So I've lost where I've gone now.
Well, you
EM38
maps. EM38, and you were putting that into your very rate maps.
Yeah, so using Agrian prescription creator. Just have a look at that, and then literally drawing around using like our own knowledge of what's going on in the paddock.
Yeah, ground truthing.
Yep. And then checking on yield maps for representative years for different crops, and then I just hand draw them.
Yeah,
and then check
which
again.
Is still doing something,
Yeah, still varying it and doing it to the different data sets.
Yep.
But then checking again at the end of the year, which I find the John Deere, is it MyOps?
Yeah.
Yeah, so MyOps is quite good at bringing up, you can bring up your two maps. So your seeding map, your as applied rate, and then your yield result. And you can go through and see, okay, does it trace and follow that? Are we getting the benefit, or are we getting the saving?
Yep.
So, yeah, I can see that. So I'm obviously talking John Deere side. I've used John Deere and the CNH PLM software.
Yep.
I tell you, the John Deere stuff, they read the room early on, and they've made theirs compatible with pretty much everything.
They have, yeah. Now, I have often referred to John Deere as Apple, the phone, and everybody else as Androids.
Yep.
Because John Deere, not so much now, like with the screen. The Gen 4 I don't find as friendly, but all the other screens where anybody could get on and just figure it out within about 10 minutes, exactly what's going on with the screen, everything. The Gen 4 is a little bit more confusing, I find. There's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But they have done it very well.
Yeah.
Especially, like you're saying, joining with other companies.
Yeah, so they're not often the first to the market with the features, much like Apple. They might wait a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But they get it right.
Yeah.
When they do, they bring it, they take their time, and then they bring out the
first ever polished quad track, the first ever twin rotor machine.
Yeah, that's innovation, not imitation. Yes, the big green quaddie and the big green CR.
Yeah, but no, they've done that well. So it's leading into another thing because they also merge with AgWorld. Now AgWorld is another PA tool.
Yeah, yep. More focused on your planning and agronomy side.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's a very handy tool to have, and we switched onto it just purely for spraying records.
Yeah.
Some people are probably not as diligent on their spray records, but we've always been, every single tank gets a record of everything that's going on from weather to start to the end and all that, and then John Deere are integrated into that. You can bring your yield maps into it, and
Yes.
it's.
Do you have your sprayer linked through MyOps yet to AgWorld?
No, because our sprayer is AgriFac.
So it won't do it unless it's John Deere.
No, unless maybe put that.
The MTG.
That's the word.
Yeah.
I was going to say server, but yeah.
Yeah. The little modem. So again, MTG.
Again?
I don't know what MTG stands for, but I'm guessing it's modem something. Modem telematics something.
Good.
But it's a little unit that sits in any tractor. We've put them into our class, into our versatile. You can just anything that you can wire into the cat as well, the old cat.
Yeah.
You bring them up to the same standard as the as any of the new John Deeres that are coming off the lot. Just automatically sends all of your data from the Gen 4 or even Gen 3 screen straight into MyOps.
Yeah.
So, you can see.
It's definitely something I should have done, but didn't.
Yeah, it's
probably we'll do it for the next one, I guess. But
yeah.
Who knows what the next one will be?
It's another cost, and that's
Yeah, it is, but yeah,
it's a pretty cool thing to see. Keeping a track of people out in the paddock. And making sure that things are going at the right rate.
Yep.
You've always got to, again, all of these tools are fantastic, but you've got a ground truth. We went through and checked all of our seeding to make sure that we didn't have any gaps, so someone hadn't missed a lap.
Yeah.
And I was spraying, and I looked down. I'm like, hang on, there's no plants here in this 12-meter strip. Jump on the run. So looking on my phone and looking, I know it was definitely seeded. It all went out at the right rate. There's no error there. Stop the boom, walk around, have a scratch. I can see the seed. I can see the fert. The seeder just wasn't put in the ground. So all the tech in the world, and still it comes down
human
to
error.
just that on a hydraulic.
Yep.
Yeah. It gives me a lot of faith for the future, but also a lot of questions as to where it's going to go and how reliable, like that. Like, we've got all this information and all this data, all this technology, and we can still have our stuff up.
Oh, so. Yeah. No, we definitely do need to dive into these topics for a full episode, because we are just skimming the surface on everything. And I do apologise for anyone listening going, oh no, stay on that, and we're just nope, off we go.
Yeah.
But no, the future is very exciting. One thing I would love to do is grid map my paddocks for soil sampling.
Yes,
because that's the biggest one. If you don't start with your soil, if you don't know what your soil is doing in that area, and you're applying huge rates that aren't going to respond, what's the point?
Yeah. Yep. And
like we just said earlier on, you might only have 10 soil sampling spots in a paddock, and your paddock is 400 hectares.
Yeah,
it's not very representative, is it? It's
So that's we regridded the whole. Didn't regrid. We didn't go point for point, per hectare. We just did all of our historical points again. So all the ones that we've done in the past, we went through them all.
Yep.
Really want to keep doing that as we're making some big changes to some of our soil types.
Yeah.
It's important to keep track of that.
Yeah. So like we have now gone from that 4 or 5 to now 15 to 20 per paddock.
Yes.
So, each year we'll do typically about 2 or 3 paddocks. 100 something samples is what we'll do. And that's obviously, you got your historic data, which is really good and cool to see how it's changed.
Yeah.
But then you've got one that you've only got 1 year on. It's you can't, you can't tell. It's it's helpful for if you're going to do a lime or a gypsum map.
Yeah.
But you can't say, my pH is increasing.
Yeah.
Or the weird one is the organic carbons are increasing.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't, but
yeah. So that opens another can of worms when it comes to whenever someone talks about carbon farming projects and let's get into soil carbon because we're improving the soil. So surely soil carbons are improving, and you look at some of your historic soil cores and data and think, no, let's not get into that project.
No.
Because it can show again, you can go through the data and see some really cool stuff. Like you might have had your best couple of years ever for grain production, and your carbon might have dropped.
Well, as it should really.
But they don't crack open a soil core and go, well, that's how many earthworms were in there.
Yeah,
that's how what the net benefit of everything else is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, layers. That's why they call it data layers. We've got to have all of those layers to make the whole picture.
Yeah, yep. So I guess in the future, I sort of see things like now just going back again to that soil sampling gridding is like I know the Virus does it. And you saw it on Mick Fells' Alpha Disc this year.
Yes.
They have a soil sampler. Whatever it was doing soil. I think it was
taking live constant carbon samples.
And it was doing pH.
Oh, yes.
And all that at the same time. So, things like that are very cool because if you could just put it on your seeder and you're not having to buy a whole extra unit to then go and drive across every single hectare of your paddock when you're going to do it with your seeder anyway.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
What do you see for the future?
Well, on the broader PA side, I think there's no secret that we're real keen on robots.
Yep.
I see John Deere have been priming themselves for the last 10 years in their software suites to get everything ready for automation.
Yep.
And really pushing hard, migrating away from Apex, all those older offline systems.
Yeah, that stuffed me.
Well,
moved to this online butter thing.
Yeah, it's in the cloud.
I don't trust no cloud.
Yeah, they don't always show up when they need to. But as I think we've sort of touched on previously, they've started positioning themselves more like a Silicon Valley tech company.
Yeah,
and I can see that they're migrating that way very rapidly. It's good. The way that they've got things working now is very good. It's a promising thing, but I'm just a little bit wary of getting a bit colorblind.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah. No, and we're definitely not sponsored by John Deere, but they do a lot of things right.
Yeah,
sort of like Apple.
Yeah, it's sort of like Apple. I mean, I'm an Android user, so I've always got a soft spot for the guys who are disrupting the industry a little.
Yeah, but we touched on it from Darren. Things like B-Leap. That is very exciting for the PA side of things.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention it. What else it does was it does very rate nitrogen and stuff on the go.
Yeah, able to do on the fly NDVI.
Yeah, which is just unreal.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to drive pretty slow, but unreal that you could be out there just doing a Flexion application and
doing an on the fly vary rate.
Yeah.
It's an exciting spot. Always enjoy precision ag stuff. I think that B-Leap and these, like Bilberry, all these other companies that are in the space, it comes down to like open source. So John Deere's not renowned for being open source at all. Actually, quite the opposite. I think that possibly it's got to go the same way, and I said this all the way back from uni, where Apple and Microsoft got into lawsuits with each other over file compatibility.
Yeah.
For like Word documents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And USB. So universal serial bus is meant to be universal. Doesn't matter if you're using whatever brand computer. It's always got to be able to plug in and use that.
Yeah.
I think that ag is missing, like ag tech in particular, is missing that side. And I'd love for more open connectivity between different platforms. So it doesn't so that these novel and new technologies can just be plugged straight in, and it's easier for it to work.
And they need to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And PCT, you do need a degree.
Yeah. Make it user friendly.
It's something that John Deere will do well. TopCon, look, their screens, you can do a lot of cool things with them, but they are very fiddly to put things onto.
Yeah.
You've got to have the exact right file names, and it's just an absolute pain.
Yeah.
It's and then you're trying to explain to a mate over the phone on how to use it, because they've got one, and it's like, look, I need to be there.
Yeah, you've actually got to physically have a look and see.
Yeah.
Trimble and CNH. I haven't kept up much with like the PLM side of things, but they're still ticking away, still doing stuff. I know that Trimble's very large in earth moving.
Yes.
So
yeah.
A lot of
they've
that,
got a huge sector there.
Yeah, a lot of their side. I think they actually. I'd struggle to see a John Deere precision ag stuff on earth moving equipment.
No, you don't even see it on John Deere earth moving equipment.
Yeah, they're always slapping Trimble stuff on. So they've all got their niches. So I'd just like to see more in the future with us looking at robots and stuff. I'd like to see more ability to talk between brands.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Just open the door a little bit, John Deere. Give us a little bit. We don't need to be hacking terminals and stuff. We just want a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I reckon we'll leave the PA discussion there, but we definitely will dive into it. Let us know in the comments, or let us know on the Glass Cage Pod.
Yeah, some voice notes on stuff. If there's something that you found yourself going, actually, guys, it's just one little click and.
Yeah, and then, we can address it at the top of the next show or something like that. Now, on the next show, so we're episode 8 at the moment, we're thinking we might go to 10.
Yeah.
And then we might, so that gets us, I think, until October. And then we're thinking we might break for October, but in October we're going to do episodes still, and then we'll release them come... What's after October? November. I was going to say September. We're in September now.
It's gone backwards.
Yeah. So then that way, because obviously come harvest, you and I are not going to be able to come down and do this. We're going to be harvesting. We're going to be stressed. We're going to be tired.
Oh, I hope so.
What? Do you hope we're stressed?
Well, if you're stressed, then it means you're on the edge of your seat. Things are happening.
No, hopefully tired because it's nice warm days and
long days. Long days in the glass cage ourselves.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we've got episodes coming out over harvest so that all you guys can listen during harvest. We're thinking we'll have a break. So please get in touch on the socials and let us know what you want us to hear.
Yeah, it won't be so reactive.
No, it won't.
But we'll have some time for you guys to get involved, and we can actually sit down and address most things that come through, hopefully.
Yeah, we can. And then obviously once the harvest period's up, we can then address, have a whole episode addressing questions and things that have come out from that. So that's the plan, guys. Yeah. Hopefully you support it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can take a month off from us.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be hard.
If I see a message that says don't come back, guys.
Well, we're going to come back even stronger. Yeah. And always, we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.